Hey friends, welcome to the Swing My Heart podcast. Come join me, your host Nicole, for some hope-filled conversations about heartfelt entertainment that makes your heart swing. Hey Hallmarkies, welcome to the Swing My Heart podcast. I'm your host Nicole, and today I'm joined by my friend Alex to talk about A Biltmore Christmas, starring Christopher Polaha and Bethany Joy Lenz. It was written by Marcy Holland and directed by John Putch. A magical hourglass sends modern-day screenwriter Lucy Hardgrove to the set of the 1947 holiday movie classic, His Merry Wife. However, before she can return to the present, Lucy must make things right or threaten to alter the future forever. Welcome back to the podcast, Alex. I'm excited to have you on for this movie.
Yes, thank you so much, Nicole, for bringing me back on again.
Of course.
Always
And
fun.
you are such a big Christopher Polaha fan, and of course I am too. But I figured it was only right to bring you on for this movie.
Thank you so much.
Of course. It had your name on it. Weeks before it even aired.
Definitely did.
But anyway, why don't we get to our review and our merry musings, which are our overall thoughts or hot takes. Would you like to go first?
Yes. This movie for me was the best Christmas movie of the year. I know you probably think I'm saying that because I'm a big Christopher fan,
No.
but
Mm-mm.
well, I am a big Christopher fan, but the movie itself was amazing, spectacular, all the above, the story, the cast, the setting, the visual aspects of the film, everything was just a 10 out of a 10.
Yes. It had an amazing script with lots of romance and comedy from Marcy Holland, who has written some other Hallmark movies that I've really enjoyed, including Time for Him to Come Home for Christmas, which was last year, Nikki and Nora's Sister Sleuths, Time for Them to Come Home for Christmas, which was Brendan, Penny, and Jesse Schramm's movie. Time for Us to Come Home for Christmas.
Oh, wow. So she wrote all of those.
Time for You to Come Home for Christmas. Yep. 3 episodes of Picture Perfect Mysteries. A couple of the Hannah Swenson mysteries, and Very, Very Valentine. I won't mention all of them, but those are just a couple of her movies that she's written.
A lot. That's a handful. Yeah. And a handful of those movies are some of my favorites. So
yes. Yeah. Especially Tyler and Holland's from last year. Yeah.
My favorite from last year.
Beautiful scenery and costume design by Keith Nielsen. Can we just give a round of applause to Keith, because he did a fantastic
ridiculous job. Costumes in this movie were like literally chef's kiss.
Yes. Yes. Fantastic chemistry with the whole cast, especially Chris and Joy.
Very good chemistry.
Yes, I agree. Love the time travel aspect of the movie, of course. We only got one scene with them, but the sister relationship with Lucy and Becca I thought was nice. And we got a couple scenes with them, the friendship between Lucy and Margaret.
That was a fun part of the movie, for sure. Watching those two.
We'll talk a little bit about Margaret later on because she was a great side character.
Definitely.
And to wrap up my merry musings, I have to say, I wouldn't mind a sequel to this movie with these characters.
I would love another one to see how their story continues.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, I wouldn't say that for every single movie, but with this one.
Yes. It needs a sequel.
Yeah. It could be, I think I saw somebody on Twitter say Thanksgiving at Vanderbilt, I think.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, they could go to different landmarks around the US.
Right. Road trip.
Yes. Christmas at such and such.
That too.
Like Christmas at Boone Hall, which is near where I am. Or Christmas at, well, they can't do Graceland because that's already a Christmas movie.
They
Um,
got two movies of those already.
hmm. What would be one that you would suggest?
Christmas at, I was gonna say Tennessee, but that's not really has anything to do with.
Maybe Christmas in Williamsburg,
That's a good one.
Colonial Williamsburg. I've been there, not at Christmas time, but I have been to Williamsburg and it's beautiful.
I've heard that it's beautiful. I know a couple of people that have been there. They say it's really nice.
I went there in middle school, I think sixth, seventh, and eighth grade for a school trip with Model UN.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, we had a great time and we stayed, I think, in a hotel near the College of William and Mary.
Ooh,
Yeah, it
that,
was fun.
mhm.
We had a good time. And one more thing before we get to our holiday highlights. Biltmore, you can't go wrong.
The whole. I literally want to like just move in there. Like I just stay in a room there, like forever.
It's
It was just
beautiful.
gorgeous. Like the grounds,
Mhm.
the inside, like the architect of the inside of
Yeah,
the place was
yeah.
like beautiful.
I've been to Biltmore, not at Christmas time, but I
Ooh.
have been to Biltmore. It was a long time ago, but
Hmm.
we had a good time. And I think it would be fun to take a trip during the holidays to see Biltmore at Christmas.
Yeah, I would love to go
Yeah.
there.
Yes. Moving into our holiday highlights, you like to start us off?
Yes. Two, I mean, there were like so many like favorite scenes of mine that took place in this movie. It was so hard to narrow it down.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick two of them, it probably the first one would be the scene where Lucy and Jack are kind of like in the inside outside part of the greenhouse with all like the
Yeah.
poinsettias.
Mm.
And Jack's telling Lucy about how his mom was a seamstress and she always would have a poinsettia out
Yeah.
at Christmas time.
Mhm.
And they start talking about like their folks
Yes.
with one another. And Lucy asks Jack if his folks are still alive, and he goes, "No,
Yeah.
unfortunately, they had passed.
He's an
So
orphan.
he's an orphan." And he goes back to her, "What about you?" And she tells him that
Mm.
her mom left her family when they were little, and so it's just been her dad, her sister, and
And
her.
yeah.
And then she starts talking to him about how
If
you
you
have
put
to
your
protect
faith
yourself because
in people,
eventually people are just going to leave you.
break your heart. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Then he starts talking to her about how he was thinking about what scene she wanted to change. Oh, the scene with giving up his wings for love.
Yeah.
And
And
yeah, he tells her, he goes, "I've been really thinking a lot about that scene." And then she replies back to him,
you
"What
really
about you? Would you be
really
willing to give up
what you
something that you loved for somebody else?" And he
yeah,
goes to her,
I
"I
don't
don't
know,
know, but
but
I
I
hope
have
one day,
I
if
love
I do
someone
have the chance to love somebody."
enough to find out.
Yes,
That's a good
that scene, I
yeah.
did that really well. Yay, go me!
That was
But
a good
that scene really touched me. It was beautiful.
yes. And while we're at this particular moment, let's just go back a little to the talk on the bench. That was very cute.
Yeah, and that was like kind of more of a comedic part scene, but
Mhm.
it was still serious at the same time. But Very cute.
Yeah. He's talking about his Christmas tradition, which is he would go to see a picture with his parents. And it was always a comedy because that was his mom's favorite.
Sweet.
And then he goes into talking about how he started as a stuntman on a film called Wagons West. He recites one of the lines and he's like, "He ain't lying, Sheriff."
He's just doing an impersonation from the film, yeah.
And, you know, Lucy goes into saying how she knows it because she watches
She's a big
lot
fan
of
of
the
his.
Turner Classic movies. And he says, "You lost me, Bright Eyes. I need a map to find my way back."
That line just tells you right there, like this movie was back in time, old school from the 1940s, which I love that line because
Yeah. Yep. And then let's jump ahead to the scene after the greenhouse when they were walking outside and he's asking about what kind of movies she writes. And, he's like, "You're against romance, blah, 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 blah." She's like, "No, I'm not.
I'm not down on romance.
I'm not down on romance." And he says, "It can't get any more meaningful than two lonely hearts finding a little slice of happiness in this crazy world." And then he gives the impression of Jimmy Stewart. The best movies, they inspire us. I can't do it like Chris.
Only Chris can do it really well. He does it really well, though.
Yes. They show us what we could be, appeal to our better angels. And then the high five.
No. That's and she's like when she first high fives him, he's looking at her, he's thinking to himself, I have no idea what this is.
She's like, "That's what we do."
That's what we do back where I'm from.
And he's like, "Okay."
I love that scene too because I love when he starts trying to guess, like if she's like a night owl or like a morning person, and he's wrong on every single guess except the last one.
Late to the party, first to leave. I did love all of the time jumps to the actual movie.
Yes.
In black and white. I thought that was nice.
The black and white parts were beautifully done.
Yep. The opening credits of His Merry Wife from Balaban Films. And I like the little introduction where it says, "With Claude Lancaster as James, a lovelorn man in need of a little Christmas magic. Ava Hayward is Rebecca, the woman he loves. And introducing Jack Houston as Charlie, a guardian angel tasked with reuniting the two."
Yes. I always think to myself too, Nicole, about like how people back then always used to watch films like that in black and white. And I'm like, that would be interesting. I would actually like, even today, even when they show, like for me personally, if I watch a show or a movie that's in black and white, it really appeals to me. This is like not Hallmark related at all. I feel like I brought this up to you a couple of times before, probably in text. But I remember a big show I used to watch in high school called Pretty Little Liars. I remember season 4 of the show. I don't know if you watched it, if you ever watched it.
No, I've heard of
it. They did an episode that was all in, like the whole 2-hour episode wasn't completely black and white. And till this day, it's my hands down one of my favorite episodes out of the entire series. It was called Shadow Play. Great episode. Great episode.
Awesome. Are you a fan of any of the classic old time movies in black and white?
The only one that I know you brought this up too in another interview, It's a Wonderful Life.
Yep.
I've never seen it before.
I've never seen it either.
I feel like maybe I've seen like 1 or 2 parts of it, but not the whole thing. But that's the only like black and white classic Christmas movie that I can think of right now. But I know it's a fan favorite from a lot of people.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it. Maybe we can watch it together over
Yes,
this.
Christmas. That would be fun.
Yeah, we should try
Christmas.
to do that.
We
Watch
should.
it
That's
together.
definitely a Christmas classic. I know they play it every year at Christmas time.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I've seen some black and white movies, not
Hmm.
Christmas, but I have
Right.
seen some classic movies from that time period era
Hmm.
in
Hmm.
film class when I was
Nice.
in high school and college. I think it was in college, and I think it was a Jimmy Stewart film. I think, if I'm correct, it was called Rear Window.
Wait, that rings a bell. Re-
Rear Window.
Rear Window.
Rear
That
Window.
one. The name rings a bell. I don't know who was in it, but the name rings a bell. Rear Window.
Okay, I don't remember everything that happened in the movie because it's been a long time since I've seen it, but I'm pretty sure that the entire movie almost is filmed in one particular location, like one location. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And from Jimmy Stewart's character's room. Like, and he's watching people through
Oh,
a window.
you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I think that was one of my grandma's favorite films.
Like, it's kind
Rear
of a
Window.
mystery because there's a
Right.
crime that happens and he's like
Right.
people watching to try to
I
figure out who
remember,
it is.
right. I remember her talking about it to me a couple, actually. I think it was that one. Yeah, I think it was that one. I mean, I know she was a big fan of a lot of black and white movies, but I remember her bringing that up to me when we had a conversation,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure that was the movie.
It was a great movie. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of enjoyed it.
Like I
I
said,
mean,
the second you said the name, I'm like, Rear Window. I'm like, why is that ringing a bell? I mean, it came to me.
I wouldn't say it's my favorite movie on the planet, but I still enjoyed it. I thought it was well written, well acted.
Mm-hmm.
And Jimmy did a great job in his role in
Mm.
that movie. But going back to Biltmore, I have to mention this scene because I recognized this man right away. Lucy meeting with Mr. Balaban. Michael. He was in Christmas at Graceland as
Grace,
the baker.
yes, I loved him in that. I loved him in that movie. The first thing that came to my mind when I saw him, I'm like, oh, he was in Christmas at Graceland. I love the part he played in that movie too.
Yeah.
He was so
Yeah.
sweet.
It took a second for it to ring a bell for me, but I got it. I remembered pretty quickly. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
yeah, this is at Graceland. But at
right,
first I was like, where have I seen this guy? And then,
right. I always remember. I always, like I said before, I always
yeah,
remember the faces before the names.
yeah. He is meeting with her because she wrote a screenplay for the remake of His Merry Wife. She changed the ending. And of course, Michael doesn't like that she changed the ending.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie is supposed to pass up on his wings and help James get the girl. But instead, Lucy has Charlie watch Rebecca as she drives out through the tall iron gates and into an uncertain future.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, she's like, it should be realistic. And
Right.
like, well, people want a happy ending.
Yeah, I was just about to
Which,
say that he wants to stick to like the classic Christmas happy ending and just leave it at that. He doesn't want
yeah,
anything to be changed.
yeah. I can kind of see both sides, but
Right. I can too. I can too.
I think just a little bit by a small margin, Michael beat
Right. No. Like I understand where
yeah,
Lucy was coming from in that scene because she wants the movie to appeal to the times of today,
21st
which I
century.
understand with the audience, but I understand where he's coming from as well because he wants that classic Christmas movie happy ending that the audience always loves.
Yes. And Michael is Harold Balaban's grandson, which
Mhm.
I love that little connection.
Yes, yes, I love that connection too.
Michael is sending her to Asheville to see Biltmore in person, and at first she's just kind of like not sure
Yeah.
because she doesn't know if she knows how to write something.
Yes,
Like,
yes. Yeah, she could tell what did she tell him this? She goes, I don't think I can write something that I don't honestly believe in."
yeah. And of course, she goes to Biltmore. But before that, we get the nice moment with Lucy and her sister, Becca,
Mhm.
watching his merry wife. And Becca is reciting the line from Charlie. I never did like to fry. Lucy throws the popcorn at her. And Becca's like, what? I'm
I'm
invested.
saying I was laughing. I was like, "Yeah, this is me with every Hallmark movie that I watch. I'm so invested."
Yep. And Lucy's commentary about the last 10 minutes of the movie.
I love what her sister tells her when she asks her, "Oh, when are you coming home? Because I have this guy that I want you to meet." And she goes,
Yep.
"No, no." She goes, "Absolutely not."
Yes. And she's trying to be matchmaker. And I like when Becca says, you deserve a really great guy who will sweep you off your feet. I like my feet right where they
Right.
are.
And I loved what she says right after to her too. She goes, "If Jack Hudson walked in this room right now," what did she say? She goes, "If Jack Hudson walked into this room, you wouldn't choose him," or what's the line? Is that the right line? I don't think it is.
I think so. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lucy gets to Biltmore and goes on the evening tour. And I enjoyed the little bit of history we got with
Mhm.
the
I
beginning
did
of,
too.
yeah. Christmas at Biltmore is a tradition that goes all the way back to 1895. They see the billiards room and the costumes from his merry wife. They talk about Ava, Claude, and Jack. Jack was a relative newcomer with just a couple of credits to his name. He took a bit part in a musical called Meet Me in Poughkeepsie, so he could get on the lot and meet the studio head, Harold Balaban, who he convinced to get an audition for his merry wife.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, Jack passed away and wasn't able to enjoy the tremendous success of
Mm.
He died the following Christmas,
Mm.
which we will get to towards the end of the episode. And I have to say, I thought it was interesting how they zoomed in on the thing about Jack.
Yes, yes. Well, I know they did all like
The wide shot.
the wide thank you, the wide shots, and then they zoomed in on that one sentence with him, which, like you said, it was interesting.
Yeah, I was like,
Mm. Mhm.
I didn't catch it the first time, but when I was watching the
Right.
second time and taking notes, I was like, hmm, that's interesting they did that. Even though
Yes.
I already knew what happened.
Right. Right.
Yeah. I feel like that was definitely foreshadowing to something.
Right. One thing I have to add, Nicole, too, if I had, if one, I was very surprised at first because I originally thought from watching the promos that the first time Lucy flips the hourglass over, I thought she was going to be, she's going to be stuck there back in 1947 and throughout the entire movie. I didn't realize that they were going to go back and forth a couple of times,
Three times.
which I liked that more than what I originally thought. So I really appreciate that they did that.
Yeah. Yep. She went back. Well, she went to 1947 twice, and then the third
Right.
time she got stuck.
Duck. Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Winston shows Lucy the Grand Library and the hourglass from Biltmore's private collection.
Hmm.
And the hourglass is a big part of this movie.
Yes. Indeed.
And just like it was a big part of his merry wife, William West was so taken with it that he wrote it into the script. And the crack happened during filming, but it was able to be repaired. It'll soon be included in the Smithsonian's Golden Age of Hollywood exhibition. Is that actually a thing? Because I would love to see an exhibition
I
like
know.
that.
That's what I said too. I'm like, it would be so beautiful to see something like that, all in like the golden age of Hollywood. I'm like, someone send me an invitation.
Yes. Oh, that's another movie that just reminded me. It is half in black and white / sepia, The Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
One of
Yes.
my favorite movies of all time.
Another classic. Another
Yes.
classic.
Yeah. What did you think of Jack and Lucy's meet cute? She's like so oblivious to the fact she's in 1947.
She's not that first scene with the two of them. Oh my. I loved it. It was short and sweet, but it was
Coffee
but it was perfect.
from Crafty. Crafty was a thing in 1947.
Seven? Who knew? But when doesn't she has the call sheet in her hand, right?
She
Or
takes
someone
it.
she takes it, and then like yeah, and then she's like looking around. She goes, "Why?" She goes, "Why is everybody in costume?" She's like, "What?" Like,
Yeah.
she's like, wait a minute, what's going on?"
Yeah.
And then she sees him sitting in the chair with the script in his hand, and he lowers the script, and she goes,
And
"Wait a minute, you look just like Jack Houston."
Houston, and
He goes to her, "Well,
I
I
am.
am him."
Well, I hope so. I am him. And then he sees her phone and he's like, what is that? And then I think that's when she says, who are you?
Who are
Or
you?
you
Yes.
look just like
Yes.
him. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I
I
loved
think
it.
that's one of the best meet cutes in a Hallmark movie.
Yes. Definitely agree. Mhm.
I also love when he says, who are you supposed to be in that get up? And then that's when she takes the call sheet and then
Oh,
walks away.
yes.
Lucy meeting Margaret. What did you think about that? She's talking about the fascinator, like the one Ava Hayward wears.
Like that woman, she knew so much about his merry wife. Like I knew right off the bat, I was like, wow, this woman's a big fan of this movie. Like when she was like taking the pictures of everything, and like she knew every single like answer from the questions that were given. But yeah, I thought she was definitely a fun character added to the
Yeah.
movie.
And the cosplay costumes, and Lucy kind of takes a big sigh of relief. She's like, and then they're talking about the brochure, and
Right.
it's in the brochure.
Yeah, it's when she comes back. She goes, "Oh, that's why everybody's in costumes in the brochure."
It's in the brochure. The tree lighting and Lucy and Margaret's talk. The mention of Sandra Bullock.
Great ad. Great ad to the movie.
Yes.
Have you ever wrote for Sandra Bullock?
Well, you should write for her.
You should.
Yep. Margaret and her mother had a tradition of watching His Merry Wife every year for Christmas. It's her favorite movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then Margaret goes into describing some of the locations of His Merry Wife. And I love when they get to the courtyard, I think it is, or the Italian garden. And
Yes.
she's like, they just don't make men like that anymore.
No, they don't. Well, I mean,
No, they
I shouldn't
really
say
don't.
that. I guess. Nah, I don't, that sounds kind of mean. I mean, not from like 1940s. Like,
No, I mean, you don't find men like that a whole lot anymore.
no. Yes. Yes. That's a perfect way to say it.
Yeah, I mean, of course there are some
Right.
that are
Yes.
like that,
Mm-hmm.
but not everyone these days is like that,
Nope.
which is a shame
Mm-hmm.
because I am all about chivalry.
Yes, like you said, chivalry is not
Not
dead.
dead. Hashtag chivalry is not Lucy's second time in 1947. And I loved her reaction and then the crew member Peggy's commentary on her outfit. She's like, "What are you wearing?"
What are you wearing?
And the rehearsal for the Christmas event with Lucy as the candy cane girl.
I love that outfit. I love the candy striper outfit.
Yes.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, it's one of mine too. And also the snarky banter with Claude and Ava when he says, "Stop stepping on my lines, sweetheart. My apologies. Next, I'll aim for your feet." Or next time I'll aim for your feet.
For your feet.
And they're like, "Oh," as they turn
And they walk away from each other.
And Lucy introducing herself to Jack as Sandra Bullock.
I love that. Another one of my favorite scenes, that second meeting with them, and he goes, "Hi there." I'm like, heart just melted.
Yep. I think this is one of my favorite Lucy and Margaret scenes. And it's when Lucy is in the storage room going through all the stuff from the set.
Yes.
And Margaret shows up and they're talking about the candy cane girl costume. And Margaret is like, "You're a ghost and you're trapped here at Christmas with unfinished business. I can help if you need to get a grave message to a loved one or right some wrong."
And then Lucy replies back to her. She goes, "Well, I'm touching things. Clearly, I'm not a ghost."
She's like, "I'm not a ghost." And then Margaret's reaction to Lucy going back in time to 1947 and meeting Jack. And Margaret says, "Is he just as charming in real life?" Kind of pushy, actually.
No.
"Oh, I understand. You're going back for him. That is just about the most romantic thing I have ever heard."
That's another one of my favorite lines. When she told her that, and she goes, "Is Jack just as charming as he is?" And she goes, "No, he's actually kind of pushy."
Pushing. And then they go on a walk and they're talking about Lucy writing the remake. And Margaret mentions how Ryan Reynolds should play Charlie. Chef's kiss again.
Like you said, I'll just plug this in here. In case anybody doesn't know, Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds was it one movie together or did they two?
I
think it was
they
one.
One. The Proposal.
Yes, they did.
With Betty White.
Yes. I love that they plugged the two of them in there.
I love that movie.
I know, a movie that's a good one.
The scene with Betty White's character doing the dance by the fire.
Yes. So hilarious.
I haven't watched that movie in forever, but
Me either.
classic comedic scene.
Yes.
Margaret is going to be Lucy's backup in case something happens. Something happens the next time she goes back. And it's her third time. Lucy sees Jack again. And I love that interaction when she's like, "Now you listen here. You can't just march up on a dame and give her the what for." And Lucy comes clean about her real name.
Yes.
Not where she's from. Claims that she's from the studio.
Yes.
And was sent there by Harold Balaban. And then she goes over to the table where the hourglass is and then drops it and it breaks. Means she's stuck there.
Yes. When she first dropped it, I'm like, now she's stuck there for good. And then I love that when he's trying to put the hourglass back together and help her. He goes, the sand. And he goes, no. He goes, "Don't worry about it. I'll take the blame." Jack.
That was sweet.
It was very sweet.
Yeah. Also, I got to mention this just very briefly. Claude's pre-filming gesture, Ma, what does that remind you of?
High School Musical? It was, no, wait, it wasn't, it was Sharpay and Ryan. That's what I thought of too during that scene.
Ma. Right
Classic
away,
nod to High School Musical, going back. What was that?
Sure. If Marcy is a High School Musical fan.
She might be from using that scene. You never know.
Never know. But I thought that was very clever how they did that. Whether it was intentional or not for that reference.
Yes. Also, I have to point out this, in that scene in particularly, and the one before that, Lucy's outfit, hands down one of my favorite outfits. The red coat with like the plaid blazer and the hat. Like she looked so pretty. That was like definitely one of my favorite outfits that she wore in the entire movie, if I had to pick one.
The plaid that Lucy was wearing was why I picked this headband. I thought it looked very old-timey.
A great nod to this movie for sure.
Yeah. And yours as well, your headband.
Yes. Ooh, gold, green, and red mix in there.
Yeah.
My headband.
Lucy walks into a ladder and gets a minor concussion. And the moment when Claude, Jack, and Ava are, standing around her and asking her questions, and they're like, what year is it? 1947. Who's president? Oh, I know this.
I know this.
It is.
Truman.
Yeah. And Jack's like, that a girl?
Yeah. And she was like, where the security guard go with the hourglass? He went that way.
Yep.
And she runs after him.
Yep. Jack and Lucy's lunch, talking about figgy pudding, Mr. Balaban, Lucy putting in a good word for Jack, and talking about where she's from. Santa Monica, by way of Ohio. And her Christmas tradition with her sister of caroling and hot chocolate. I thought that was nice.
Yes.
That is when they go get hot chocolate and have the talk on the bench, which we already mentioned. Yeah. Christmas Eve, 1947, and present day, we get Lucy talking to herself. What are you going to do for Christmas Eve? I know. Let's time travel back to 1947 and get stuck there. Why couldn't the hourglass be a DeLorean?
She has so many great one-liners in this too, Bethany, and she executed all of them so well.
Joy has great comedic lines in this movie. One of my favorite scenes in the movie, I tweeted this one when the movie was airing. Jack and Lucy playing the piano and singing Jingle Bells.
That's my second favorite scene, if I had to pick another one.
Yeah.
She has a really beautiful voice, Bethany. I know she is a singer. I never heard any of her music before, but I'm definitely going to, but she has a beautiful voice.
She does, and Chris has a great voice as well.
Yeah.
Chris is a musician as well. Which
I
love.
Yes. I love that they added that scene in there with both of them singing them at the piano. It was very picturesque for the movie.
Yeah. Jack and Lucy at the train station with Ava, and before they go there, they find out that Ava quit the film because Claude didn't want her there.
Yes. That's a no-no.
Yeah. They convince her to stay, and I love when she says, your friend talks like a fortune cookie. And Jack is like, that's her charm.
Good line.
Yes. And then when they get in the car to leave, Jack asks Lucy to be his date at the Christmas party, which I love. And then we get the staircase reveal, like a classic fairy tale movie.
Yes. Classic Christmas Hallmark Like you said, fairy tale movie.
Yeah. Like a classic Disney fairy tale.
Disney princess fairy tale.
Disney princess fairy
Yeah.
tale. Like Beauty and the Beast with
Mhm.
Belle and the Beast.
Or Cinderella.
Or Cinderella. Yeah.
Mhm.
Beauty and the Beast, my favorite classic Disney movie.
Probably Little Mermaid, second Cinderella for me. Two
Yeah.
favorites.
I mean, there's a lot of great ones.
Right, yeah.
Cinderella.
There's so many to choose from.
Yeah. I think even someone made an edit. It might have been Elizabeth with The Tale as Old as Time.
Yes. It definitely was like
Very fitting.
very fitting for the movie. That I love that edit.
Yeah. I love that song too.
Yes.
One of the best Disney songs ever written, probably.
Shout out to Liz.
Yes. I loved the brief moment we got with Lucy talking to Bill or William. And earlier on, we found out when she was talking to him at the bar.
Yes, it was the bar.
That he and his wife separated. And
which was like kind of sad, right? When he said that, I was like,
yeah, it broke my heart too. And when they're talking at the Christmas party, he says that he made things right with her, which I loved. I was happy to hear that.
Yes, I was really happy they reunited with each other.
Yeah. We get a very brief dance with Claude and Lucy, and Jack cuts in, and I love how Jack is like, "May I cut in?" And Claude's like, "No." And Lucy's like, "Yes."
Yes.
And then Jack and Lucy share a dance. And
yes, in the garden room, which I loved. Another one of my favorite scenes. Like I said,
that kiss.
It was a good one. Fireworks.
Yes. I also thought it was sweet, his Christmas gift to her, his watch. So she
very, very sweet. That scene gets me too.
He also invites her to spend New Year's with him. And this is when he says, "I feel like I have always meant to know you. And now that I've met you, I can't see a future without you in it." Melt my heart into a puddle, Christopher Palaha.
Exactly. That was like one of my, like you said, that line, that man.
And then Lucy runs away.
I know. That's when she realizes, she goes like, "What am I doing? This isn't real." And she runs away from him. I was like, I got really sad.
Yeah. And then she meets young Michael Balaban.
I thought that was so cute and clever that they did that. When it took me a minute until like he reached over and to the candy bowl, and then I realized it was him when he was little. I'm like, that's too cute.
Yeah. And that kid was very cute.
Yeah, he was adorable.
Yeah, with the glasses.
The little top hat and the little hat, the little cap.
Yeah, that was very cute. Harold Balaban arrives and hears about Lucy from Claude.
Wait, thanks for giving it away.
And then Margaret in the present with her trick to stall things with the hourglass. She's like, "Oh, my trick knee."
He always feels this way when he gets called out. I was laughing.
Oh, and I love how Winston was trying to help her. That was very nice. Even though he was probably agitated with her.
Yes.
And then it jumps back to 1947, and Lucy is on the run from Harold and the security guy.
Yes.
And I love how they did this. They went back and forth.
Me too.
Between Jack and Lucy and Margaret going in the library and closing the door.
I love that. That was great. That was really great how they did that.
Yeah. And Harold and the security guy and Winston.
Yes. I really, really like I said, enjoyed and loved how they did that scene.
Yeah, Harold's like, if you don't come out here, Jack, or if you don't open this door, your career will be
over. Yes. And then like they have like the conversation by the fireplace, and
that was one of my favorite scenes.
Same here. Me too. Like I said, majority of the scenes in this movie were my favorite.
Yeah, she shares the truth about where she's really from and how she got there. He tells her where to go so he can buy her some time with the staircase that goes
Yes.
the back door.
Yes, the beautiful spiral staircase.
Yes. And before she walks the staircase to kiss again.
Like I said, we always love extra kissing scenes in Hallmark movies. I know I do. So
That kiss. Woo-hoo. I was like, okay.
Just give us Hallmark. Just give us all the kissing scenes. You know the fans are gonna love it. So whatever you want to add in, just add it.
I also thought it was sweet when he says, I'm glad that you came into my life, even if it was only for a little while. And then she starts to tell him about Christmas Eve, 1948, before she's interrupted by Harold.
That scene. Oh.
Ava helping Lucy with Claude with the snowballs. Thank you, Ava. Right. He deserved that.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
I even tweeted that. I was like, way to go, Ava, with the comeback.
Yes.
For Claude with the snowballs.
Yes.
Or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, he kind of deserved that.
Yeah, I love what she when he first sees her, Lucy tells him, she goes, "Oh, you caught me. Go, let me see myself out."
Yep. And I love Ava's wave. When Claude is on the ground, she's like, or no, sorry, that was to Lucy. She was just waving goodbye.
Yes.
I thought that was nice. And then Lucy goes to the truck to get the hourglass and she disappears right in front of Jack's eyes.
Yes. Oh, I'm like, that's it.
Yep. Yeah, and it was getting down to the wire with timing.
Yeah.
Like, what are they gonna do?
One thing I have to point out, I meant to say this before, but I'm glad I'm adding this now. This is the first Hallmark movie where I can say this movie had me guessing till the very end. I did not know how this movie was going to end, and I loved it because, you know, as we both know, Nicole, you usually have a general aspect how our majority of these movies are gonna end. This one kept me guessing the entire time, and I absolutely loved it. Loved it.
I actually did not think that they were gonna have him. I actually did not think what was going to happen is what happened.
Blew me away. Literally, blew me away the ending in the best way possible.
Yeah.
Best way possible.
Yes. Lucy and Margaret. Now, this is when Lucy gets back to the present and they're talking about Jack and Lucy trying to warn him. And then Margaret sees Lucy in the film. I loved that when she gets all giddy and then pretends like she was not.
So cute.
Yes. And then we get to time jump to 1 year later. The cameo from Wes and Rachel.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Hallmark Channel.
When I first was watching, I was like, wait, what is Wes Brown and Rachel Boston doing in this movie? But then I'm like, wait, they've been doing all these cameos in these movies, which I love. Great ad.
Yes. They were filming the final scene of the remake. So, of course, they were the ones cast in the remake. And we get a mention of one of their movies. This is going to be better than Check Into Christmas.
That was what a great line.
Yep. I was like, hey, that's one of their
movies.
That was great. And then Michael mentions to Lucy that he wants to talk next steps with her. I guess for working together.
Yes,
on
yes.
another film. And I loved that. I thought that was nice.
Yes.
Especially if there is a sequel. I would like to see some more of them working together, like on another play with Balaban films. And then Jack and Lucy reuniting in present day. This, I was like, what? I totally did not see this coming. I literally thought that they were going to keep Jack dead.
Like I said, ending blew me away in the best. Like I said, I watched this movie 4 times already, and I've cried all 4 times at the end.
Yeah.
Cried like a baby, not even ashamed about it. It was beautifully done.
Yeah.
I was literally in shock. I'm like,
I did not think that they were going to keep him alive.
No way they're doing this. But I was so happy that they did it.
Yeah. I was like, how are they going to keep him alive when he's supposedly already dead?
Like they're from 2 different time periods. How are they going to end up together? There's no way.
Yeah.
An unexpected ending, but unexpected in the best way.
Yes. I love when she says, "How are you here? You're a hard one to forget, Lucy Hardgrove. I tried 1,000 times to get that hourglass to bring me to you, and it never worked. And then I remembered something that you told me, December 24th, 1948. I guess I just needed a little Christmas magic." And then we find out that his dying was a cover story they planted just in case of an unexplained disappearance.
Very clever.
Very clever. Yes. And Lucy says, "You would really give up everything you've ever known for me." And then, of course, he's like, "Yes." She's like, "Why?" "Because I love
you. Telling you.
No, my heart into a puddle once again,
Christopher.
Oh.
Christopher. The second he said that to her, I'm like, okay, where's the tissue box? I'm going to be crying here for about another 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
my
kisses.
Yes.
Again. I think we got 4. I think I counted 4.
Yes. Like
4 or 5.
Chris and his I love you scenes. You know how those go.
Yeah.
They win us all over. So no surprise one didn't win us over either. So
yes. And one question. Winston packing the hourglass away. Like, part of me wonders if he was trying to help Lucy. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes, that's a good observation. I didn't realize that. Yes, but like I said, the ending, the whole movie was fantastic. But the ending for me was the best part. Best part.
There were a couple of scenes with Winston and Lucy that really made me wonder if he's like trying to help her.
Right. I agree.
Fix things so that the future is not altered. Very clever.
Yes.
Moving into our ratings segment, I think we're going to have the same ratings.
No question here.
So what would you give it on a scale of 1 to 10 for plot and script, chemistry, Christmas feels, and overall?
10 out of 10. Don't have to ask for anything else.
Yep. Same all across the board for me. 10 out of 10. Yeah.
Definitely.
Hallmark knocked it out of the park with this one.
Yes.
Yeah. Fantastic job to the entire cast and crew.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep. As well as the makeup artist, the costume designer.
All the behind the scenes people. Yes. Of course.
Yes. Well, this was so much fun, Alex. Thank you for joining me for this movie review.
Thank you so much. I had so much fun.
Of course. And I cannot wait to have you back on again in the future.
Yes. Looking forward to it.
All right, Hallmarkies. I think that wraps up our review of A Biltmore Christmas. If you enjoyed this episode, you can like this video and share your thoughts on the movie in the comments. If you want to stay up to date on all of my Christmas movie reviews, you can subscribe to this channel and make sure to turn on the bell so you are alerted when new episodes come. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you have a great day or night wherever you are in the world, and we will see you next time. We love y'all. Bye.
Bye.